Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Launch Lab podcast, the official podcast for the Skilla project. For those of you that listen us for the first time or don't know who I am, my name is Thrasyvoulos Tsiatsos and I'm the project manager of Skillab. And in this podcast, we explore the future of skills, learning technologies, and the evolving labor market across Europe. And today I have the great pleasure of hosting Professor Thrasyvoulos Tsiatsos from the Aristotle University of Thessaloniki, who is the director of the Software and Interactive Technologies Lab. And he has extensive experience in digital education, learning technologies, serious games, and multiple European projects focusing on upskilling and reskilling. Professor Tsiatsos, welcome. It's great to have you with me.
Thank you very much, Konstantinos. It's a pleasure to be here and to discuss such an important topic. I would like to say many things about the educational technologies and the educational ecosystem in our lab, in our university, but also in the European level.
Yes, I'm looking forward to hearing your insights. So let's start with the bigger picture. So we have the concepts of upskilling and reskilling that we ourselves research in Skillab. So why are they such a critical issue today? I would like to hear your perspective.
Thank you. We are witnessing a fundamental shift, and the past education was something that happened once. We had a degree, and then this was enough for many years, especially in Greece, to go to the public sector or just having a degree. But today, this is not longer the case. We can see that we need more specialization. This is one thing. So for this reason, we have master programs, but also lifelong learning programs. And another thing is that the skills have a much shorter life cycle. So there are skills that we have 30 years ago that are not enough today, and maybe they're obsolete today. And we have other skills that have been emerged, new professions that have been emerged. So there are new skills on the block. From the other side, from the technological point of view, the technologies are evolving rapidly. So we have new job roles. The job roles are changing. And as I have told you before, entirely new professions are emerging. So, for example, I would like to say that now we have esports. We're creating, let's say, technologies. These are totally different, and these sports will go, for example, in the Olympic Games.
This is something totally
League
of Legends, for example. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
So, and we have tournaments for them. There are some specific skills, and we're creating games in order to develop the skills for the gamers, for the e-gamers, not for the athletes. So this is a new type of athlete, for example. So there is a new era, but also there is another critical point, the AI that is coming.
Yes.
It's here. So there are new things from this point of view as well. So upskilling and reskilling are not optional anymore. So every individual and every society should take care of that, of upskilling of the workforce and the reskilling of them. And we are moving from education as a phase of life to learning as a continuous process. So we think that the lifelong learning is something that we should focus more on the next years.
So I will stand on the lifelong learning, and you often talk about, because we have talked outside of the podcast, and you often talk about learning technologies instead of just using educational tools. So what's the difference between a learning technology and an educational tool?
Yes, an educational tool is just part of the ecosystem. This is a very important distinction of that. The educational tools are applications, for example, a learning management system, a platform, a serious game, even, ChatGPT. If you use AI, this is a tool. This is not the ecosystem. Learning technologies, on the other hand, are an ecosystem. They are combining data, now artificial intelligence tools, analytics, but also interoperability among all of them in
Yeah.
order to exchange data, maybe to issue degrees, micro credentials or badges, etc. But also they are including the user experience.
Yes, of course.
So it's not only the content and the delivery of the content, but also the support of the whole learning process and the learning experience. And we are moving from the content delivery to adaptive intelligent learning environments. And the adaptivity and the specialization, especially for the upskilling and reskilling of a specific profile of a worker or an individual, is something really important. So we should speak about the ecosystems and infrastructures,
Yeah.
but not only tools here and there.
So let's say that, for example, okay, ChatGPT is a tool, all right. So if I took ChatGPT and made a full-on educational suite with badges and AI and analytics and support for the students, this would be a learning technology then, and not a simple educational tool. Or is there something else? I mean, is this still a tool, the educational suite that I will build, or it needs something else to become a learning technology? Does it need some kind of feedback from experts?
Yeah. So I think that you're speaking about the role of artificial intelligence in the upskilling in this process and in this ecosystem.
Yes, yes,
I would
well,
say,
exactly.
yeah. Okay. Of course, the AI is a game changer, and of course, it's a new, let's say, technology that could help the new version of the educational technologies. It's a new thing, a new level. We can make the technologies smarter, but also the feedback to the learner, because we need real feedback in order to have this upskilling and reskilling for the users. So, but AI is a game changer for this upskilling and reskilling for three main reasons.
Yes.
First of all, to identify the skill gaps. Secondly, to personalize the learning pathway of every learner. And the third reason is that we can provide, as I have told you before, this real-time feedback. The- But in order to engage the AI in the learning technologies, we should structure somehow the data with a common way. This is because if we do not do that, the AI make its own,
Yeah. Assumptions, let's say.
calculations, yes, assumptions, and
Yes.
these assumptions could be maybe different and without any quality assurance, without any human intervention, because it's in education, it's something that's really important. So we should feed the AI models with structured data. And I would like to somehow highlight the need of the deployment of frameworks like ESCO or
Yes.
the
Yes.
European Learning Model for describing skills. ESCO is such a framework, or for describing the entities of an educational activity. The European Learning Model is exactly has been developed exactly for this reason. So if we would like to organize a lifelong learning program or a learning pathway, and we would like to denote the learning outcomes and the skills that will be developed for from this specific program, we should describe them using ESCO or the European Learning Model, at least in the European, let's say, area. So this is really important in order to allow us to describe the skills, but also to make the machines are ready to understand what we want from them. So without structured skills data, AI cannot support the learning. This is my point of view.
Yes, yeah,
or
that's
this
understandable.
AI partially can support the learning.
Yeah, it needs a human in the loop, let's say.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, okay. So let's move on to your work and your lab, the practical implementation. So you have worked extensively on MOOCs. So what have you learned? What have you acquired from your research?
Yes, indeed, we have implemented many projects in our lab and software and interactive technologies lab. For example, in the goal for PDM projects, we have developed MOOCs combined with serious games and virtual communities of practice as an ecosystem again for supporting the dual career of athletes. Same in the project C4BIPS for in the sports sector, creating a community of practice and the MOOC for injuries in basketball. Also in the project COP, which is one of the success stories and European projects about the journalism and the cohesion policy in Europe. In Colmuk, we have integrated conversational AI and learning analytics into MOOCs. But also in Sugar Pass, we have combined the MOOCs, physical activity, gamification. So we have created ecosystem, not just a MOOC,
I see. I see. Yeah.
because we based on the research results, based on our experience, the lesson learned is that MOOCs alone are not enough. We have a big dropout rate, so we should support the MOOCs in order to create communities of practice, but also with AI support in order to engage somehow the learners, but also other types of engagement like or motivation of the users and the students, like serious games or active learning elements. So, of course, the MOOCs are enough, are a good tool for learning, but not enough because we need to motivate the students more and we need to engage more.
So yeah, and this is done by gamification and designing serious games, obviously.
Yeah, we are gamifying the MOOCs. This is one thing that we are doing. It's not a serious game, but
Ah.
we are gamifying the process. So, for example, in most of these projects that I have presented before, we're trying to have some gamification elements, for example, badges or gifts based on the answers and the participation of the learners in the MOOC. So the learner can unlock, for example, a new course or sub course, or they can collect badges in order then to take to issue the final certification of the MOOC.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
these are experience points, for example. So with the gamification, we're trying to motivate the learners, but also we're creating serious games. This depends on the target group. If the target group are kids or under 15 years old, we're uh, trying to create games. And we're creating games in order to bridge the gap between also knowledge and behavior. Because, okay, in traditional education, we're learning concept, but in real life, of course, we would like to apply the concepts or to apply a theorem, but with the serious games, we can experiment, we can make decision, we can experience the consequences, we can uh, change the way of thinking, and also we can self-regulate ourselves most of the time.
I see. Yes.
Uh, we have created many games in many projects. For example, in the game project, we have developed games on integrity in sports, about the clean sports for also in esport project, we are focusing on inclusion, or in the goal for circularity, we are combining sustainability with simulation-based learning. And with serious games, I would like to highlight that we would like to transform the passive learning into active experience. And mainly in the games that we are creating the self-regulation of the learners.
And I suppose that many of these games use extended reality and immersive learning. So, what about these technologies? Do they fit in somewhere?
Yeah, I would like to say not all of the games, because XR and augmented reality, the equipment for the end user is somehow expensive. So we're creating games that are just mobile games, but very easy to be downloaded, installed, and without the usage of a lot of data, in order to have the best dissemination, and impact.
Yeah.
But also, we're trying to experiment with XR environments and immersive learning, because we are thinking that this is the next step. The technology is here, but the technology is somehow expensive. This is the problem. And
Yes.
for this reason, I would like to say that we do not have the huge, we have not seen yet the huge impact that XR could have. But we have projects like this Field Guide XR project that is part of the XR to Industry bigger project. And we would like to move towards immersive learning. So the learners don't just read or watch or playing, but also they can interact within simulated or real environments, because augmented reality is the interaction with a real environment and with the support of virtual objects. And this is something that we are doing this field guide XR. We are going to the farmers area. So we would like to train new farmers with a new technological about the usage of new technological equipment like sensors, for example, in on the field. So the farmers are going as learners, as trainers to the trainees to the real field, and they can see using headsets. They can see how they can use the sensors and the equipment, the expensive equipment that they have in their farms. This is the main goal of this project. And the XR in our case is that this is especially powerful tool for technical training, health care or engineering. In this field guide is about technical training. And I would like to highlight this is for the learn by doing process.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we have for these serious games, this from passive learning to active experience. For XR is from also passive learning to the learning by doing. And I think that using these three technologies, we're going to the next step, to the next level of educational tools.
Yeah, and that's very, very effective upskilling. It's very fast because if you have the headset, instead of following instructions, you just see and perform. It's very nice. For us that occupy ourselves with upskilling, this is dream come true. We don't need to design courses and okay, that's very nice. But I would like to ask you though that if we have a farmer and we need to teach him to directly work in the field, I suppose that first we need to gather real world data. So how do you achieve that in your project?
Yeah, this is if we have sensors, so then we are going to another area that is the Internet of Things. We have things, objects that are active or passive objects everywhere, in order to collect data that are really important for the educational process, in order to feed the learner with real data, in order to, for example, to run a real experiment with using real data. Or we can use data from sensors in order to inform the learner about the impact that some educational activities have now to other objects. For example, in the staying bowling project, we are using sensors to capture real performance data. For example, the steps of a bowler on the field in order to inform the athlete that the synchronization of the steps is not correct in order to try in a better way, or we're using other sensors on the hand in order to inform them, not only the athlete, but also the coach about the movement of the hand, because this is really important
Yeah,
in
sure.
order for the coach to give some, let's say, guidelines and guide the athlete to play better. So we're trying to use sensors in order to support not only the learners, but also the coaches or the professors, etc. Or in our lab, we have created years ago a device in order to measure the anxiety level of a learner,
Oh,
in
that's very
order
interesting.
for the learner to understand if they are in a really high anxiety level, and try to deploy some techniques like diaphragmatic
Yeah, but breathing,
breathing,
breathing
diaphragmatic
techniques.
breathing, in order to be calm and continue writing the exams and participating in the exams. And we have seen that is really important for the learners to have this type of self-regulation, this type of technologies. And this is not a then educational tool, as I have told you before. This is a part of the ecosystem.
Yes, yes, yes. I see. So you create a loop between the real world activity and the learning. So it's okay. But so I've been hearing in this episode about all these wonderful things, sensors and AI and learning technologies, and it's clear that the field is moving forward. But what does this all mean for the universities? So are we stuck in the past because we keep hearing this for the universities?
I would say that the universities must transform because we need new master programs, new specializations, I would say, about how to use, for example, how to exploit AI in education, not only for for education, meaning how the professor and the teacher will use the technology, but also for the learning, how the learner can use AI. Um, Also, we need lifelong learning programs in order to for the upskilling and reskilling of the professors and the trainers, the teachers, etc. We should create new micro credentials, new
Ah,
types of skills for them, but also flexible learning pathways.
yeah.
Um,
About micro, I cannot for the life of me explain to someone what are micro credentials. Can you give a simple explanation? Because I'm being asked this and I cannot transfer the meaning of micro credentials.
uh, the micro credential is just a certification of a group of skills
Ah,
or just a skill,
okay, pretty simple.
to my understanding.
Okay.
And comparing with a full learning study program like a master program or a undergraduate program, the micro credentials in terms of effort are something less than that.
Okay, I see.
And some universities are saying that it's more than 3 CTS, but less than 15 CTS. but this is okay. There is no specific rule till now, but I would say it's about, let's say, less than 15 ECTS,
Okay.
but not. This is one thing. But the other thing is that the micro credential is not only about the effort. The real thing is that we should give specific skills or just a skill. Okay, the knowledge or the knowledge or the development of a skill or a group of skills.
Yes.
There are many competence framework in European competence framework, for example, about the digital competence framework, the
Yeah.
entrepreneurial one, the
digital.
green one,
Yes.
etc., etc.
Yes.
So if someone would see the skills that are described in these frameworks, then we can create micro credentials to support the workforce to develop this. But I would say that learning pathways or flexible learning pathways could be certified by micro credentials. To my point of view, a learning pathway also in our program of study, the graduate program of study in the computer science department in Thessaloniki, we have some learning pathways. For example, educational technology learning pathway, the
Yes.
software engineering one, the
Yes.
data science one. If we have, and these are more than 15 CTS, but if we have less than 15 CTS, we can describe these tiny, let's say, learning pathways in order to give micro credentials. So imagine these learning pathways in a smaller, let's say, scale in order to give these micro credentials or nano credentials if it's just one.
Yes. Yeah. It's just
one course.
Okay, I see. Makes sense. Makes sense. And you were mentioning an initiative that you before I ask you about the micro credentials.
Yeah, it's the Epicure initiative. Epicure is an alliance with 9 universities. Now this is expanding with 10 universities. It's a European alliance that is really, really successful. And there, these 9 universities are working together in order to create flexible learning pathways for the students in parallel with or embedded in the program of studies or in a co-curricular way to support the upskilling and reskilling. This is the idea to support the lifelong learning of their students mainly. So we are trying to prepare the students to develop some skills that are horizontal skills for them. Maybe there are not one course, but in most of the courses you need these skills, like these entrepreneurship skills or employability skills.
Yeah, very important.
They're really important for the students.
Yeah.
So Epicure is trying in the next 2 years to organize this type of lifelong learning courses or lifelong learning pathways, and also to issue some micro credentials to support the reskilling and upskilling of the students, of the professors, of the administrative staff as primary target groups.
Okay, so you operationalize the framework to multiple actors.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Okay, I must say I love that you're so active in the field. It's very very exciting what you do. And I have a final question for you. So, what is your vision for the future of learning technologies, the educational landscape?
Yeah. First of all, thanks for your kind words.
No,
I would say that for me, my personal vision in the educational technology sector is that someday we should organize all of them in an ecosystem with digital tools, but also the classrooms. So for this reason, we have now hybrid classrooms.
Yes.
For example, in Epicure, we have created a framework and specifications from the hybrid classrooms. And in our university, we have created such a classroom based on these specifications. to support blended learning with with students from different countries, from different universities, from different disciplines, etc. So
Okay.
I think that the creation of an ecosystem is my vision that is interoperable. This is one of the best ideas, the interoperability. And interoperability is not only a technical term. Interoperability means that there are processes that are interoperable. So we're speaking the same language.
Yeah.
For example, if we are describing a macro credential, we should describe the macro credential with the same way. And we can certify this with the same, let's say, type of badge or Europass or something. So this is the interoperability. The business logic is interoperable. And then for the engineers, I think it's easier to develop systems that are interoperable. This is the first idea.
Okay.
Second one is that the skills, the previous years, the degrees or the PhD degree are opening, let's say, it's a gate to
Yeah.
open
Yeah, that's true.
to open new roads. Of course, this is, but also these tiny skills could be the new currency in order to move forward, in order um, um, uh, to develop profiles of workers that are uh, fit better
Yeah,
to the real
tailored.
needs and current needs.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, we should say that the learning never stops. That means that, of course, we can support the learning or the educational process with new technologies, new ecosystems, new infrastructures, AI, but we should not forget the effort of the professors and the effort of the learners.
Yeah,
So we should
sure.
not forget that. And it's not a vision, but it's something important to remind ourselves that we should have our effort and our participation on something. So our mind should still work
Yeah.
in the process.
It's
Uh,
like Solon said, I grow old always learning, if I translate it in English, you know. Γυράσκω αηδοί δασκόμενος.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
So my overall vision is to make all these parts of the puzzle to work together and create an ecosystem that is interoperable, sustainable, and also usable for every stakeholder.
Yes,
Uh,
sure. And learn fast. Keep your brain
yeah, of
activity
course,
working.
of course.
Okay, so it was a great discussion. Thank you very much for accepting my invitation. I learned I learned many things today. Yeah, thank you so much.
I would like to thank you also for the opportunity. It was a pleasure to present the work that we are doing, but also my point of view on this educational technology sector. And good luck for your and congratulations for your project as
Oh,
well.
thank you, thank you so much. The pleasure is all mine. So, for our audience, this has been another episode of the Launch Lab, the official podcast for the Skilla project, and stay tuned for more.